I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to turn at the end, unless there is, I can't quite see a area to turn around, but hopefully there will be something. Right, so we can switch to flight mode, turn on the runway lights and the white anti-collision lights. Turn on our transponder and TCAS. We can release the control lock now. Alright, so the before takeoff checklist, the FAA notification we've just done, takeoff briefing is complete, condition levers are on max, trims are set, takeoff warning, we don't need to do, I know there's no warning lights, so it'll be fine. So here's the turnaround. Bleeds we can set to minimum, do that once we turn right. Which it already is. External lights we've switched on, and runway heading is set at is 206. So we're all set to go. If I can just straighten up. Oops, a little bit too far. Right, so 50% ish, and then full throttle. So we're looking for 116. There we go. Gear up. Oof, that's a bit of a crosswind. It was about 36 knots earlier on today, but it's not quite as bad. Right, so that's 1,000 feet. So we can turn on the autopilot, flick it to nav mode, and IAS 185. By the way, it's just our climb speed. We can obviously increase the altitude. Oh, the other way. I always get that the wrong way around. Increase it up to, what did I say our cruise altitude was? 230. Right, so we can do the after start checklist. Bring up those flaps. The gear is up. Condition levers we can bring back to, oh, goodness me, 900, sorry, just flicking the camera all over the place at the moment. Auto feathers we can switch off, and the pumps we can switch off. Bleeds we can bring to normal. And we can turn on the ice protection to increase now because we're well above 1,000 feet. Quite a lot of turbulence going on over here. So the next thing we need to check, well, the next set of checklists are at 10,000 feet, but we're good to carry on going. And we've just crossed 10,000 feet, so we can turn off the exterior lights and We could, if we wanted to, bring the condition levers back to 850, but we'll do a fast climb today. That just makes it a little bit quieter in the climb. I mean, the dash does have noise suppression. That's why it's got the Q, which stands for, well, the Q400, which stands for, the Q stands for quiet. But we'll keep on with the higher condition levers just to keep going up at the faster rate. But what we can also do is just bring the IIS down to 210. Well, the speed up, but the nose down. Alright, so we're 1,000 feet off our cruise altitude. So what we want to be maintaining when we get up to our flight level 230 is approximately 225 knots-ish, around that figure. And to get that, that's for an intermediate cruise. And we're looking at a torque figure of around 50%-ish. Now I've found that the figures in this table tend to be a little bit optimistic. Well, probably because there is a bit of a disparity between real life and this model. So I tend to have to be about 5% higher. So if we put about 50 to 56% torque in, that should maintain that speed. But we've got a really, really, really good tailwind at the moment, 117 knots tailwind. So we may actually, our ground speed is 413 knots, which is getting to jet territory. So making very good progress. But in a second the IIS mode will disconnect, and then we have to take over using the throttles. There we go. So I actually had to click Alt Select. Just forgot to do that when I set the altitude. But there we go. Now the IIS mode's disconnected, and we can bring the condition levers back to 850 for a quiet cruise. There we go. We'll let it creep up to about 125, and then we'll adjust the torque rating. As we're just going over the southwestern tip of Wales, and that speed's getting nice and close now. So we'll just start to bring the torque back by bringing the throttle back. So yeah, 55 or 56 should be about right. It's still going up, so yeah, that seems about right. Okie dokie, so I'll carry on with the cruise, and I'll see you guys in the descent. Catch you in a bit. Alright, so we're just coming up to the top of the descent. We're at 6.7 nautical miles for top of descent, so I've already armed the VNav. It's currently programmed to reach 3,500 feet at CIT3 right, which is the start of the ILS to runway 23 right. So we're doing the MERS 1 Alpha, that's Mike India Romeo Sierra 1 Alpha star, onto the ILS for 23 right. So yeah, we're going to descend down to there, and once we start descending, I'll do the descent checklist. But otherwise, we're just kind of waiting for that to happen. I've been fighting a kind of, well, we had the 190 knot tailwind going towards Wales, but unfortunately we've had to kind of fight it as we've had to head back up north. Yeah, so that's kind of affected my kind of fuel consumption a little bit, but I think it kind of balanced out because we had a good tailwind for quite a good proportion of the flight. So as it just counts down, we're just watching the VNAV path, which is this little indicator to the right of the primary flight display. So the vertical alert's just come up, and there it goes. There's the V path coming down. And down we go. So, oops, just undock that. And we'll just bring the throttles right back, just because otherwise we'll be overspeeding. And we can do the descent checklist. So the altimeters we're not going to adjust until we get to 5,000 feet as the transition altitude for Manchester. Let's just check the fuel balance. So we can just knock a bit more into the first tank. There we go, so that's balanced. Oh, gone a bit too far there. There we go. Pressurization we've already set. The fasten seatbelt signs we can now switch on. And the approach briefing is complete, so we'll skip ahead to about 10,000 feet when we'll do the in-range checklist.